You wanna know why I love Blade Runner so much? Not the new one, which I really love the new one, but before that, I loved the 1984 version as well. I loved it because the ending vaguely hints that Deckard could be a replicant. A replicant is basically an artificial human, and Deckard himself is tasked to kill or retire these rogue replicants. And that's the thing, there is a charm of not knowing the facts and the future, you know? Not knowing what Deckard is and what he stands for makes the movie ask you time and time again its philosophical questions, and that's its own charm. And then 2049 came out. We now know that he is a normal human. Don't get me wrong, I love both of the movies, but I can't help but think that some of their ambiguous and mysterious charms are lost. And that same charm can be said in short episodes like The Duel. We don't know who the character is, what he's after, and what he is doing at the moment. But the world he inhabits, is the one we know and are familiar with. Sure, you can distinguish a Star Wars world with their own cultures and rules, but the reality of it is that no Star Wars world is perfect. There is always some sort of unrighteousness or injustice happening out there in the galaxy. And the world from the Duel is just that. It's a rundown town filled with people that used to believe in something. But now they're just under Imperial occupation. Since the news about the Ghibli and Lucasfilm collaboration has been circulating on the news recently, with a lot of people speculating it to be a part of Star Wars Vision Season 2, which is highly likely. But yeah, enough about that. I thought it's the perfect time to talk about one of my favorite Star Wars Vision episodes, The Duel. The first episode of the show is one of my personal favorites in anything Star Wars, period. It has this masterclass of theory crafting formula that the ever-expanding Star Wars lore is known for. The animation style also reminds me of one of my favorite mangas of all time, Vagabond. Now, I know a good amount of people doesn't really like 3D in their animations or anime since in most cases it looks weird and it sits in the uncanny valley. But if you think that this show is one of those bad CGI anime with nothing going for it, then you'd be mistaken. If people were to ask why should I care about Star Wars and its shows, the answer I would give comes in a single word: world building. It's no secret that Star Wars is often known for its long timeline and cast of characters spanning generations of watchers. The same thing can be said for its world building. The world of Star Wars is constantly being changed, and with that comes a lot of theory crafting. For example, back when they showed loot and shop in Andor, the moment a small cube and a small pyramid appeared on screen for a few minutes, it broke the internet. People have been theorizing left and right if Luton is a Jedi or not. Some of them have essay-long theories to prove if Luton is a Jedi or not. Some of them looked at the direction of Rogue One and said it's similar to that and that there are no Jedi here anymore, only dreamers like this fool. And that's the beauty of it. The world is so established and so well known that the moment a single cube appeared, a lot of stories and theories can be formed from it. The same thing can be said in the first episode of Star Wars Vision. Isn't it cool that his lightsaber never turns off? What caused it to be that way? Did he made it like that? And why is it red? Is he the bad guy? Questions, questions, questions. Maybe he's actually a Jedi who traversed the dark side in order to exterminate the Sith. Or his lightsaber is cursed and will only turn off once its hunger is satiated. Similar to that of the Muramasa blades, which are hungry for human blood once it's drawn. Or is it just broken?
In the Star Wars Visions short The Duel, the character of the Ronin has a scabbard for his lightsaber. There actually is a reason the Ronin has a scabbard, which we learn in Emma Condon's book, Ronin. His lightsaber is broken. It no longer deactivates. I believe that's to symbolize his own story. He's a man on a mission, a Sith hunter.
In the end, the correct answer was the latter, but that doesn't stop the fans from connecting the dots and understanding its true meaning. I mean, things gotta have meaning at least, especially in animation where everything always has some sort of purpose. Even the smallest bit of grass was thought up by someone to be there. to either evoke a sense of place or tell a small story. Speaking of meaning, this leads us to our second topic on why I love this episode.
Fear.
Have you guys ever seen the latest iteration of Batman? The one with the vampire in it? Yeah, that one. Have you noticed how unsaturated and dark it looks? It straight up looks like a noir film. Compare that to the clean, bright, colorful Marvel movies that we got in recent years. Batman looks edgy for a reason, and that reason is to set the movie in the tone it's going for. But that's not what made it special. No. I'd argue that its masterful use of color is what made it great. They snuck in very bright colors in the moment of tension, where normally the viewers won't notice it as much, but it will give us the impact we needed. We are so caught up on what's happening that we forgot how strong they blasted colors into our face. For example, the Batmobile scene has this bright blue light. That's probably the only time we're ever going to see that color. As all of this is happening, you can see and feel the fear in their eyes as the engine screams. I mean, look at how this thing roars. The part where Batman walked out of the vehicle. See how the oranges and reds engulf our hero into the thick of night, while the Penguin sees him as an actual bat upside down. Like, come on, it's amazing. What I'm trying to say here is that by limiting the colors you got on screen actually makes them more impactful and much more important. That same thing can be said in the Duel. Even though we are quite familiar with blue and green being the good guys and the red being the bad guys, the show still managed to make it interesting and unique. I love how the bright red permeates the entire screen when they fought, given that the only thing we know about that color in the other movies and shows is that it's an evil color filled with hate and anger. Only this time around, only one of them is angry. But as the fight is happening, you have to wonder what made it red. Is he on the path to vengeance? If so, what happened? His moves and the way he calmly approaches a situation is very much like how a Jedi would go about their business. All of those story elements in just a single color of red. Even though they're both the same color and form, at the end of the story we know that not every color can be the same. Red also symbolizes passion and love, which is what I saw from the boy who got the Kyber crystal in the end. Is it just me, or are we tired of Disney just cashing in on nostalgia for money? It's both fun and sad at the same time. Fun that we can get a whole new stories, characters, dilemmas, and stuff to geek about. Sad that we had to make and state out that Vision is non-canon and is given freedom to everything. Think about it, isn't it sad that we got to explore new places and new characters at the cost of it not being part of the original world? Like Disney, you can tell stories outside of the Skywalker timeline and let it be fun, and people will still watch it. Don't let yourself be choked on nostalgia and canon. Anyways, that's it. That's all I remembered about why I like the show. I remember liking the one with Ocho title, but I forgot the name. I watched it way back on release and only ever got to do a video on it once they started talking about the Ghibli collaboration. And a friend also asks me why.